This video we're going to create the second floor loft area and the dormer. So the first thing that we need to do is create a new level for that space. So let's take a look at our elevations. We have these elevations we had set up earlier, and we still are going to maintain this roof elevation because that determines where the roof is attaching to the walls, so that's an important level, but we need to add a level in addition to this one above it, and then we'll have a second roof level for the dormer roof, which we'll call dormer roof. So how do we make new levels? Under the architecture tab, there is a level tool, and you can see that LL is the short key for it. And when we create a level, you're not going to worry too much about where it is. We're going to adjust it after the fact, but you see that I just clicked towards the end of the level on the left-hand side and dragged to where all the level bullseyes are on the right-hand side. Now we could adjust this so these are on the left or right by selecting it. You can see this checkbox here allows me to either have that showing on this side or the opposite side by just simply checking, or I can have it showing on both sides by checking that off on both sides. Now this has given us a default name based on the last one that we did, so it's just giving us a new letter. But we want to change that to second floor, or if we wanted to call it loft, that would be okay. I'm going to call it second floor. And I'm going to assume that the second floor structure is going to be 2x10s with 3/4 inch plywood and 3/4 inch finished floor. So that would put our second finished floor at let's see, this is at 8 foot 3 3/4, and that's going to, let's do this in the section, and you'll see that this is going to show up in our section too now. There's our second floor right there, and I just want to see what I'm doing. So this is the top of the wall right here, which is where what we're also referencing as roof. I want to add to this number 10 3/4 inches, I believe. So that's going to end up being, and here's another way to do it so you don't have to worry about making a mistake on the math, is I can use an aligned dimension, and that's a tool used quite often, so that's why we have it here. And I can click between the levels and put a dimension in there, and that way I can grab that second level I just created and I can type in the distance I want it to be from the first level. So that would be 10.75 inches. So that would be the 9 1/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 would give us 10 3/4 inches, or 9 feet 2.5 inches. So now I don't have to do the math. I can get rid of that dimension if I want to at this point, and I'm ready to move on to the next step. Now initially we created this as a ceiling joist, but now we have to beef this up a little bit. We have to also change the size and shape of it, because I intend to have the main living and kitchen area open to the collar ties, let's say, and then I would like to see a ceiling over this area, and then we're going to end up with a floor joist over this area to create that loft space. So if you can imagine now what that's going to look like, we're going to have floor framing here, ceiling in here, and then we will have open to the rafters or to a collar tie here. So in order to create that, I got to kind of be able to see what I'm doing three-dimensionally. And my problem is I can't really see what I'm doing. So I'm going to show you right now how to create a really convenient view. We're going to take the view that we have. If you put your cursor over it and right-click, we're going to duplicate the view. Just create a duplicate. And so we'll say copy. Now I'm going to rename that by right-clicking and choosing rename. First floor doll, short for dollhouse view. Okay. And then in order to get this to crop at the first floor level and show us what's inside the house, we can use this view navigator by right-clicking on the Saturn ring that's kind of around the cube. You can go to Orient to View, Floor Plans, and pick First Floor, and it's going to kind of chop the walls at where you have your first floor view range set to. And now we can see inside this space as if we did not have this roof in place. And this is really useful. We don't have to be constantly turning off the roof for us to be able to see what's going on. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to edit the ceiling joist that we have. So I'm going to go to the, this is the easiest way to do this. I'm going to go to the section view, select the ceiling, hit edit boundary, and it's going to give me an option to choose the view that I'd like to edit the boundary in. I'm going to edit it in the first view, first floor view, open view, and now I can see my ceiling in this view. I want to change this to a ceiling that's only going to take up this area now. Okay, so I'm going to delete these lines over here, and I'm going to add a couple more lines. So put one here and one here, and then I can use this trim tool to trim all that together. Okay. I'm just going to see how that goes for now. I might change this a little bit because remember I said I may end up putting some kind of other ceiling material in here. But for now we're just going to leave it like that. So actually this should be on this side. And this, those aren't lining up. You know what? I'm going to delete that, and I'm just going to simplify this and put it in this part of the house. So that should be attached to the exterior wall outside face of stud, and we will do that. So that should be all set now. See, I've got a rectangle around that area. I think that's going to work. So this just needs to be moved over so that it's going to the should be all right. Okay, so once I've got that's one of the ceilings that I want to create. Now what's really happening here is I want to create a second floor. So I should now have a second floor view, and I do, and I want to create that second floor in this view. I want to still be able to see the first floor below it. So I want to change this underlay from roof to first floor so that I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to create a floor system again. So I would go to floors, and I would find the wood joist 10-inch wood finish, and I'm going to choose my walls again to define that floor, and I want to go actually to that wall too and this one, and then I just got to close that, make that one closed complete shape, and I'm just going to make some slight adjustments. This should go to the outside edge of the wall here and here, but everything else looks good. Alright, so this is going to create that platform for the stairs to come up to. So if I hit the check box, I'm going to say no to this for now. Actually, I'm going to say yes, because this is saying the floor roof overlaps the highlighted walls. Would you like to join the geometry and cut the overlapping volume out of the walls? Yes, that makes sense. Sometimes if you get a question asking you if you wanted to extend the walls to this new floor, you sometimes want to say no to that and wait, because that as a default attaches the walls to the floor, and then it becomes problematic when you go to try to edit the walls later. So let's see what this looks like now. So now what we have is we've got the set of stairs going up into our loft space here, where we're seeing just portion of the loft space in section. And then beyond that, where we're seeing the wall, the outside wall of the stairs that is going to go up to the second floor. And I'm going to actually turn that into an open railing, so we're not going to see that wall in there. Let's switch the section. I'm going to flip it. So if I click on the section and I flip it in the other direction and then go back to that section view, now we're looking at the loft space beyond that we're going to get in that second floor. And we can see that our floor is matching our heights that we set, and everything is stacking up nicely. I did say I was going to do the dormer now, but I'm going to wait, and I'm going to do that in the next video so that we don't have really long videos to sit through.